Hey Chris, Lori with Soul Sisters Digital Design. Thanks for our one-on-one this morning. I'm going ahead and shooting this video that will kind of review what we talked about earlier, but we'll give you a chance to kind of go through it again and also share it with Nathan and the other people on your team. So in this video, I'm going to show you how your business is stacking up against your competition online and also give you some steps that you can take to improve things. So as Google crawls the web, it is really looking at three things: content, citations, and backlinks. So those are the things I'm going to talk about today. Now, content just refers to the words and images on your site. Google likes to see between 1,500 and 2,000 words, kind of at a minimum on the page, to give it a really good idea of what you do and where you are. The exact amount is going to somewhat depend on the competition, but also the number of keywords needed to get those things across. So what's a keyword? A keyword is anything someone might type into Google looking for a particular service or product. So let's take a look at what one might look like. So I went over to my Chrome browser and typed in home inspection Jacksonville Fl. And you'll see that what comes up first, and this will be the case in most of the time if there's enough businesses to warrant it, there's what we call a map pack. Now there's 3 businesses on here. The people in these map pack are going to get a lot of business because there is a ton of information kind of at the fingertips for anybody searching. To get into this map, you need to, 1, have a Google business profile. You need to make sure it's filled out as completely as possible. But the third thing is you want to make sure that your name, address, and phone number are listed in as many relevant directories on the web as possible. So that's everything from Yelp and Yellow Pages, Facebook can even count. But basically, the more times you have that happen, name, address, phone number, appearing in a directory, the more power it gives your profile. Every place you do that is considered a citation. The idea really is that your brand begins to be found by Google all over the internet, and the larger your online presence is, the more Google trusts you. Now, below the map pack, we see what we call the organic results. And in this case, organic just means not paid. Ideally, you want to be in the top 3 here as well. Between the top 3 of the organic and the top 3 of the map, if you're in both of those locations, you're going to be one of the ones that are going to see about 85% of the traffic. Now let's go back to content for a second. Now I have your website pulled up here. It looks really good. I like that you've got some good information. You've got certainly a call out up here with who runs this particular office of NPIweb.com. You've got some call outs here for things that you do: explore residential buyers inspections, explore pre-listing inspections. I like that. One of the things I did point out to you is you're missing some opportunities. So for example, on this picture right here, anytime you have a picture, you want to make sure that you are targeting a keyword. And in this case, what this picture is named is couple. That is obviously not a keyword that's relevant to home inspections, so just something to keep in mind. Now, and I like your call outs here. So you obviously want to call out and a call to action. Click to get a quote now, for example. You've got your Thumbtack profile there as well. All of that's really good. But when I plugged your website into a word counter, I can see that you're sitting at about 627 words. So obviously you've got some room to grow to get to that 1,500 to 2,000. Now, the other thing I like to do is look at it from kind of behind the scenes. I use a tool called RFs. And what this does is it allows me to see like how many people are landing on your page from an organic search, for example. So if I'm looking at this and you guys are a back page of NPIweb.com, so you can see that for the organic search, you've got about 4 visitors per month. Those are being driven from about 50 different keywords. But if I drill down and look at those words, I can see that even though some of them are great, what I would call buyer intent keywords, like Duval County inspections potentially, or Jacksonville inspections, how I read this is that, for example, this Jacksonville inspections, that particular keyword has 20 searches per month. Now you guys are in the 11th spot. Pretty much anything after 10, it's very few it's going to result in very few people actually finding you. And this bears out in this case. So you're number 11. It's a very low volume keyword, and it's obviously resulting in no traffic. So most of your keywords, in fact, all of your keywords are greater than 10. So you're not really seeing any traffic or very little traffic from or organically for your website. Sorry, a little tongue-tied tonight. Now, in contrast, let's look at who some of your competitors might be. So the top competitor here is Bold City Home Inspections. Now, I pulled up their website. Obviously, it's got some dynamic color. They've got a little bit more content, I believe. They've got reviews right here. They've got the Google reviews. So it looks pretty good as well. If I look at their metrics, I can see that they're actually getting about 542 visits per month. And that's being driven off of about 1,100 keywords. And if I drill down and look at those, this keyword, for example, home inspection Jacksonville FL, that's the same one that I pulled when I was initially pulling up this search. Well, that key term is being searched 100 times per month. They're in the second spot for that. So that keyword alone is giving them 36 visits per month. Now, when we were talking earlier today, I asked you what one of your top competitors were, and you were thinking it was House Scan Inspections. So I also pulled that, and I can see that for them, they're getting about 300 visits per month, and that's being driven from 110 keywords. And you can see a lot of these have to do with the name of their business, but some don't. So Jacksonville Home Inspections, that's getting 20 visits per month. They're in the number 4 spot, so it's still earning them, even though it's not very high volume. It's still getting them a couple of visits per month. So that can just really illustrate the difference it can mean to the traffic to your website by really targeting those keywords. Now, the last piece of the ranking puzzle is what we call backlinks. Now, all a backlink is a clickable link coming from one website back to another via hyperlink text. These links, again, act like an endorsement of your website from other businesses, which Google uses to build trust. It sees these other businesses as vouching for you, but it is not just a popularity contest. Not all links are created equal. You cannot necessarily compare one to one because Google will judge those backlinks based on how relevant they are to your industry, based on how powerful they are in their own right, based on how local they are. So I can see from the Ahrefs tool that I use that your backlink profile, and the reason I don't concentrate on just the backlinks is because you can't equate one to one, can't compare apples to apples, is these scores right here go on a scale of 0 to 100. So your domain is high on that score. You're a 54 out of that on that scale, but that's because you're a back page of this NPIweb.com. If we're looking at strictly your page, you're sitting at about a 1.4. And if I look instead at Bold City, I can see that they are actually at a 17 for their entire domain and a 3.7 for their homepage. And then for the house scan, I can see that they're actually at a 17 as well and a 9 for their homepage. But once all of these things come together, so the backlinks, the citations, the content, that's when you start ranking higher and higher, and that's when more and more customers will find you. I hope this information has been helpful. I always love hearing feedback on these videos because I really do want them to be helpful. If you find yourself wanting to learn more, I'm happy to answer any questions or clarify things. We can also talk about your goals, and if I can do some research and figure out what might be realistic for your business, given any restrictions you might have for NPI as a corporate entity. Again, my name is Lori with Soul Sisters Digital Design. My number is 352-235-9803. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.